Then on the strand, with steeds and treasure, and armor their roomy and ring-dight ship was heavily laden. High its mast rose over Hrothgar's hoarded gems. A sword to the boat-guard Beowulf gave, mounted with gold. On the mead bench, since he was better esteemed, that blade possessing heirloom old. Their ocean keel boarding, they drove through the deep, and Daneland left. A sea-cloth was set, a sail with ropes firm to the mast, the flood timbers moaned. Nor did wind over billows that wave-swimmer blow across from her course. The craft sped on, foam-necked it floated forth o'er the waves, keel firm-bound over briny currents, till they got them sight of the Geatish cliffs, home-known headlands. High the boat, stirred by winds, on the strand updrove. Helpful at haven the harbour guard stood, who long already for loved companions by the water had waited and watched afar. Yes. That sound means it is time for Beowulf Age of Heroes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a Tuesday stream. It is December 9th, 2025, in the year of our Lord, etc., etc., and it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to day 22, actually, is what this is. Day 22 of Beowulf. In fact, let me just make sure that I actually have that on the right spot that I'm supposed to. Yes. Day 22 of Beowulf Age of Heroes. This is Ear of Stone featuring TariToons, and I will introduce Tari to you in just a moment. First of all, hi to everyone who's here. Hi, Nonstop. Hello, Triffid. Hello to everybody who's stopped by. Very excited for our stream today because we are in the home stretch. This is the final adventure of Beowulf Age of Heroes. Starring TariToons, because we have a new campaign that is going to be starting with Tari. I have done a sort of small version of this. Thank you, Triffid. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And also thank you, Imaginary Exponent. Streamchild. Streamchild. That's right. 9 months. It's been 9 months. Congratulations on your the birth of a Streamchild with me. Thanks, Imaginary. I appreciate it. Yes, we are starting earlier today than I normally would because of by the dice roll Ghosts of Saltmarsh, but we're starting a little later than originally planned. Frankly, because I had to catch up a little bit on rest. So this morning at the incredible hour of 4:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mr. Brandon O'Brien and myself left to drive him down to the Newark Liberty Airport, which is about an hour and a half from my house. So I drove him down, got him on a plane. He should be winging his way now back to Trinidad. It was fun to have him there, but it also meant that I had to drive back through all of that. So I'm just a little bit tired. I'm a little bit sleepy, but it's okay. We will get through it. I'm excited for all that. And yes, Excel, you did not miss here. There is going to be a new campaign setting. Now, I sort of soft launched it, and if you were there for that, you can track it down and find it. But I sort of didn't mean to soft launch it. I didn't mean to announce it quite yet. I will have details about that within the next week or two. Basically, I have 3 out of the 4 players. The 4th player I just need to get confirmation from, and then I will confirm what it is. I will say that it is a group 1, so it is not another duet setting. This is going to be a group 1. I will say that it is a prominent property, but it is not Dungeons and Dragons. So I will say those things. It will, however, happen during this usual Tuesday spot, and it will be, if all goes well, not all, but almost all European. So that's the deal with that. prepares to hunt me for cliffhanging. I know. Well, listen, you can talk to, I've got most of them together. We have announced a lot of campaigns, though. There's a lot of new stuff happening in the new year. We have campaigns coming to the end. The only one that really is kind of in the middle right now is Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks. But all my other campaigns are basically coming to an end, and we have stuff coming on the other end of it. I have announced that when my Infinity and Beyond group is done, my Eberron Oracle of War group, they're moving into the next to last part. They're level 18, moving into the next last part of that campaign. When that's finished, they're going to be doing Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, so they're going to have new characters for that. I have announced that there is a new community D&D to go along with the Shadow Crew. They are continuing to go. I guess they also are still in the middle, Dungeon of the Mad Mage. But in addition to them will be another community D&D group led by Prince Justin. That will be the 13th Icon. Very excited for that. That is launching in January. When By the Dice Roll Ghosts of Saltmarsh is done, they will be playing My Tales and Tomes, the Forbidden Library campaign. So that'll be launching. But this one, I cannot, and I don't really want to announce the full details on until I have that fourth player. But I'm excited to announce it, and it's going to be great. And I am already have the overlays set for it that are going to be done, and the video work is going to be ready on it. So it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. Not Imperial and not Twilight 2000. Those are good guesses, but no. And there will be some gold box or silver box game streams down the line, but not at the moment, Excel, because I'm finishing up Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles. Then I'm going to be doing a couple of straggler games that are like one session each, and then I'm going to be moving into the next big game I'm playing, which is Metroid Prime 4. Once those are done, then I will probably circle back around to get to those. However, I will say that I know it's not a Western RPG, but if you like any JRPGs old school, I am playing Breath of Fire 4 most of the time over on GOG Comps. There's that. Anyway, but I got to get rolling on this. So I hope everyone is doing well, and welcome to Beowulf, Age of Heroes. Before we go any further, just a couple of reminders about ways to support the channel. If you have not done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. That's Discord. I'm going to make a couple of mistakes. I'm tired. YouTube, !ArvTube is where you can subscribe there. It's free for you to do that, but really helps us out. You can also watch over on YouTube. Thanks for those of you who are doing that. Discord is what I meant to say, !ArvCord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams there. Blue Sky is !ArvSky. The website for this, arvanelleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop. That's the merchandise area. I do want to point out the Patreon, !ArvTreon. We're trying to get that into triple digits this month. That would be a big success if we could get that back up into triple digits, counting the sub numbers, which have continued to sort of move up steadily again. So that's really great. Would love to see people support that if they can. You can get unique stuff there for them and unique stuff for the channel. And again, subbing to the channel, as Imaginary Exponent was kind enough to do just now, that also gets you those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. So that would be great as well. On the publishing front, Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts, Library. That's my Tales and Tomes, the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and Greyshade IP. That's Greyshade, Renegade, and Heretic, the Grey Assassin trilogy, available there from Athos Arts. You can also get the audiobooks there, and I am pleased to announce, so we have the Greyshade audiobook that is already available from Trend Sparks, but just having gone live yesterday, let me see if I can find that. There we go. Just having gone live yesterday on Audible is Renegade, the audiobook of Renegade, also by Trend Sparks, was just officially released yesterday. So you can now get that there as well. We're going to hopefully add that to the link as well. What's up, Trend? Trend did a wonderful job with this, and we're very excited that this is now past QC and has now been posted on Audible. The last thing to do in this series is Heretic, which Trend is working on right now. That will be out early next year, but I am very pleased that this has come out. So the first two audiobooks are available at that link, in addition to the print books, which you can get there as well. So please do that. And on the tabletop role-playing game front, also happy to announce, so Greyshade, which is coming from Alligator Alley Entertainment, based on that world and designed by Brandon O'Brien, currently winging his way back to Trinidad. That game can be pre-ordered right now, and I am happy to say that there was just a Kickstarter update, literally that went live yesterday, and that shows the character sheet for Greyshade, which when you get to the point where you have official character sheets being made, you know you're close. So we are right there at the end, folks, which I'm very excited about, and more on that to come soon, but I was very happy to see that. So again, you can pre-order that at that link too. That is going to be awesome. That tabletop role-playing game. Brendan did a great job. And as always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message will do so for others in that situation in the future. Tari and I will be live today until about 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Then we will be closing shop here, but I will be going over to GOG.com next for at 4, and that will be not at 4, it will be earlier today, 2 p.m. Eastern, for episode 499 of Pen and Pixels, one before that 500, that epic 500 number, but 499 for By the Dice Roll with Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Very excited about that. Another maritime associated one, as they're about to invade a fortress in the final adventure of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. That's going to be awesome. So hopefully you'll all join us for that. But right now it's my great pleasure, as I unmute myself so Tari knows we're ready to go, and then unmute Tari, to bring you over to reveal to you the one and only Billy Shears, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club. Tari. No. Here we are. And there is Tari is here. Hi, Tari.
Ew.
Tari is here. She is ready. She is prepared. She has explained that she is, quote, going to dominate the session today. She needs no inspirations from chat because she's got that on the lockdown. That's totally what we said in every respect. Yeah. So, how are you, Tari?
There might have been some miscommunication there.
Yes. I mean, listen, I was surprised you were going out on a limb, honestly.
Of course.
But anyway, it's good to see you, Tari. Welcome. How's things with you, and how all that stuff, and who you're playing today?
Well, good to see you too. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. We had St. Nicholas the other day, so I got some gifts.
Some gifts. I wonder what that might be for.
Yeah. I wonder. But yes, got this among a bunch of other lovely things. Yeah, over here it's like officially the holiday season has been kicked off. Yeah. Chris Mizzle, happy Chrysler.
Yeah, happy Chrysler.
Merry Crisis.
Well, right. You say that, and I think about a car brand that we have here called Chrysler. And it's just like, happy Chrysler. I'm like, okay.
Oh, it's like this old Vine.
Yeah.
Do you remember what Vine is, Greg?
Oh, like an old Vine video?
Days.
Yes. My wife loves Vine. Loved Vines, actually. So, yeah, like TikTok before it was TikTok, and it was like 5 seconds.
6 seconds.
It was 6 seconds. I beg your pardon. 6 was the limit. Yeah.
Anyway, long forgotten technologies aside, who am I playing? I'm playing someone called Genofefa, who used to be but a humble servant at the court of King Sigiheri in Xanten.
Mm-hmm.
And then became one of the followers of the Roy Grunsild, who heroically took a bath with a troll in the sea, and then was never seen or heard from again. Genofefa, as a best friend, decided to pick up the arms and take her place to lead the Rectech team of misfits. So this is now her third adventure as a leader, I think. Is that right? Yeah.
Is it only? Yeah, I guess that's right. As the Ragtag group of followers appears on screen. Ragtag. What are you? Yeah, pretty much.
It's a Rectech group of misfits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best kind. You never want a polished group of misfits. You definitely want to kind of, a little bit rough around the edges. Yes. And has come to an island to deal with this ear of stone. But what does that mean? We will talk about that together. Always a pleasure to have Tari with us. And let's do let's fire up some music and let's talk about what happened in our last session. Genevieve has come to this island because there is this word that Freoden has basically been, some curse has fallen upon it, and basically shipments do not come out anymore or go in. People that used to travel to and from this island do not do so anymore. And it wasn't clear as to why, but Genevieve soon discovered why, because on the way into the island, Genevieve's ship was attacked by a massive stone creature, which, let me see if I can jump over to this just a second here, which looked like this, chat. There we go. That massive creature that you see before you. I'll get rid of the followers for just a second. That massive creature that you see before you is called Flodweird by the people of the island, but also known as the Shark Dredger. And it became understood as to why that was the case when they arrived at the beach barely ahead of this creature that was trying to attack them, and found a bunch of just shark corpses everywhere, just like dead carcasses of sharks. And that was a little disturbing, not almost as disturbing as being chased by Flodweird themselves. And they would have probably died were it not for the appearance of this Lamwin, the lookout, who came down and basically pressed some bread into the hands of the people and called them friends in front of Flodweird. Flodweird heard this, turned around and left, and at that point Lamwin was able to explain that Flodweird used to be basically the guardian of the island, but has now gotten to the point where Flodweird will attack anyone entering the island unless they are described as a friend of those in the island. That's the good news. The bad news is now Genevieve and the followers and ship cannot leave because Flodweird will surely destroy them. So Genevieve has personal reasons now to want to figure out what the deal is with this creature, and also, of course, to figure out the curse of the island. When Genevieve was brought up to the hall, she met a number of people, but one of them that she met was Queen Beswa, who explained that this creature had been, had been doing all these things, had been sort of blocking people from going in and coming out, and, that was unfortunate, but that the real concern was the dangerous sharks, and that she was glad to see that the shark dredger was still killing a lot of sharks in the area. Got a lot of shark hatred from Queen Beswa. And also behind the throne where Queen Beswa sat was this large spiral stone that looks like that, which was hanging up against the wall, and which Genevieve quickly figured does look indeed like an ear or Princess Leia's hair bun, one of the two, and assumed, therefore, that must be the ear of stone which was being referred to. However, there were a lot of people that got met last time. We met Ainsworth the Scope, who discussed sort of the experience of the Queen and revealed to Genevieve, along with Cuthbert, this guy, that Queen Beswa had had a falling out with her daughter, and that her daughter had left and now has been gone for a long time, and the concern is that the daughter may have been lost at sea or something like that. Genevieve also met this person. Whoops, too many pictures up. All right, there we go. Wasa the Waylaid, a warrior who was helping the fishermen bring in fish from the sea, who explained that she had wanted to leave the island but was unable to do so and was basically trapped here along with everyone else. So a lot of people, and while gathering all of this information, Genevieve was trying to figure out exactly what was causing the creature to act the way it was, and the best lead came towards the end of our session when Genevieve met this person, Wig, who was a silent fisherman who acted a little bit oddly and made all these gestures that were sort of trying to be interpreted, and what does that actually mean? And at the very end of all this, Wig explained, didn't explain, gestured, Genevieve assumed, that there is something unusual about the Wig. And in fact, what she discovered by seeking out what the creature had put down, that this is not a human being. It is actually a Nikor, which is essentially a shape-shifting seal. And that for some reason it too is trapped on the island, and that I
wonder what that reason is.
I can't imagine why. And that so she wanted the help of Genevieve in some way, and so Genevieve was able to figure out that is supposed to go to a certain part of the island, and I believe that your terminology was camp there, because at some point, although not sure when, something will happen at this area of the camp that is related to what Wig laid down.
Right.
So after having all of these people, I love putting all of these out there. All of these except for Lamwin happened just in the last session. Everybody else was just there. It was a lot of stuff. And so right at the end of our last session, Genevieve headed out to go to the camp with her followers, and to go to where she had been told that at night there would be things of importance for her to see. And so that is where we pick up as Genevieve is heading down to this area that you were told. Now, I believe you said you were going to try to camp there, like more or less go there and then just wait, right? Is that sort of the impression
basically
I got?
hang out.
Okay.
Do some maybe cleaning of our supplies, patch up various things that might have gotten broken while we were frantically trying to not get smashed to bits by a giant made of stone.
Seems reasonable.
That kind of stuff.
So
Having a nice beach holiday.
yes, exactly. A beautiful, warm, and by that I mean cold, beach holiday. All right, so when you get to this beach, and I believe I have...
To be fair, it should be like... Wait, didn't we first start all of this when it was spring? By now, surely it has become summer, or we're already in fall.
I think we said that... let me double check, because I don't remember if it was summer or fall. Hang on a second. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably would be late summer. I think that might be a good way to describe
So
it.
it would probably actually be nice and warm.
It would probably be relatively warm, yes. The only chill is in your hearts. No. So, okay, so that is the...
Well, I mean, the water is still cold, but... unless you happen to find one of those more shallow, basically mini bays.
Yes, that's right.
Those can be nice and warm, but...
So where you were told was here. They said, go find the number 7. No, I'm just kidding. Did not say that. But they did say to come down to this area is where Wig told you to meet them. And so as you've traveled down that way, I will say that this is a long, gentle beach. And I believe I have a picture for you with this. Let's see if I do. There are two things which are described as very similar, so I want to make sure that I'm getting the right one. I believe it is this one. Yes. Okay. Copied. Put that in there. Paint. Paste. Crop. Save. As... There we go. Now I will, let's see, put this image up there because we needed another image. We did not have enough images to do this. Okay. There we go. And then I post it like this, and it will be coming up on the screen in just a second. There we go. Coming up now. Overwhelming the entire screen. Hold on. Let me resize it. Okay. So there we go. So this is what it looks like. You can see on the screen that it is this very, a sort of long, gentle beach which girds the island's southern shore. It's separated from the heath beyond by a thin stretch of mountain pine. And you notice that there are a lot of tree stumps and things like that over here, Genevieve. You had heard that the sort of lack of trade inside to the island was causing a problem, and this is one of those reasons, because basically it feels like whatever the island itself had by way of like wood to serve as firewood during the winter, and also like ships, wood for ships, is very rapidly dwindling, so that already Hreodin is relying heavily on imports from the mainland, imports which currently can't get here because of Flodweird, as we talked about before. There are a few fishing huts that stand here and there along the way, but for the most part, there's almost no evidence of human habitation. And when you arrive there, in the afternoon. And I guess, where do you want to set up camp? I guess I should ask, because you said you wanted to do a little bit of stuff relative to the water. How close or far do you want to be from it?
I guess first, before we set down camp, we would just survey the area, check where the relative water lines are based on the tides.
Okay.
Figure out any notable landmarks, if there are any.
Yeah.
Maybe if we happen to find some specific tracks or anything else that would really be obvious.
Sure. Let me have you make an investigation.
Anything that might stick out, basically.
Okay. Let me have you make an investigation check for that. And as a reminder, you're not bringing your ship here because you can't.
The ship is somewhere where.
Yeah. Precisely.
That's a 16. That's not too bad.
Not too bad at all. So you do find something a little strange, Genevieve, which is that you don't see any, you do see some tracks leading to some of the stands of wood, and the cut stumps indicate that, they've been cutting wood again, probably because they've run out of, tradable wood at the moment, so they're just having to, dig into their already dwindling stores of wood. But besides the human indications of footprints and stumps that indicate foresting activity, there is something else that's strange, which is that the beach that you're looking at. So again, if you were to look at that picture and imagine the very outside, the farthest edge of the beach that touches against the water, the shore itself, instead of the sand kind of and the rock sort of sloping down into the water, as you would expect a beach normally would, there is a massive, essentially hollow. So the beach goes down and then hollows out. What did I say? What's wrong with the hollow?
Oh, there's this whole thing that Dutch people, there's a few specific stereotypes that Dutch people have about Germans, and one of them is that when we go on vacation in the Netherlands, that we just dig holes all over the beach.
I see. Well, that's it. I totally was catering it to you.
Yes.
That's funny.
Oh no, the Germans were here. The German tourists were here.
I'll tell you what, right now, if you have a German this big, you got a problem. This is a huge.
No, it's always a team effort.
Well, I'll believe. Yeah, but still, far be it for me to question basements. Yes.
When I was a kid, I don't know, about, let's say 10, 11, something like that. Okay. I was sent to summer camp in the Netherlands, on the island Texel. One standard thing that you do in summer camps in Germany is basically we call that night hikes. Okay. Basically we go hiking, but specifically at night, because then it's more spooky and adventurous and stuff like that, right? And one section was along the beach. And, limited lighting. Okay. And it just fell down one of these stupid holes.
You fell into a hole dug by other Germans.
I was fine, by the way, but it's still of course. It was very funny.
That is funny that you have to go to this island in the Netherlands to find a German hole that was dug. How do you know? Are Germans the only ones who dig these holes? I mean,
allegedly. Well, I mean, the Netherlands is one of those holiday hotspots specifically for Germans from a specific area.
I see.
Because the closest bit of coast to get to. And it's cheaper than the German coast, because that's all gentrified to hell and back.
I see.
So it's way more affordable to go on holidays in the Netherlands, basically.
I see. Well, this I don't know. Like I said, this would be a team effort or not. This would be pretty impressive. But it is a sort of massive hollow that is in the sand, and it now, since it is in the sand and stone and pebbles, you would expect that the water would sort of fill that in. But it actually seems almost as if that the land has been shaped around it, by which I mean it's not just temporary, I dug a hole and then, a camper fell in it. But rather that it's this sort of more permanent structure that has been built in over time. That's interesting, Triffid. It's illegal to dig holes in the beaches, not fill them when you're leaving, because the sea turtles that come onto the shore to lay eggs can fall into the holes and be trapped there. Interesting. Huh.
I don't think we have sea turtles in the North Sea. So.
And if they would, they'd be German sea turtles. So,
no, Dutch sea turtles.
Dutch sea turtle. Anyway, so this seems like a more permanent structure, which is odd. And that's the thing that sort of stands out, and you don't know why. Like, there's nothing obvious that seems around here that would make something like this. But anyway, this is the general region where Wig told you you should wait whatever the time is that you couldn't quite discern. Other than that, though, there's not much else that you can see.
So is the hole presumably below the flooding line, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's
currently it's high tide or low tide?
Currently it would be low tide.
So I guess we go investigate now. Well, there's no water in there.
That's how you saw it in the first place. And yes, if you want to do that, you can do that for sure.
Yes.
Yep. It is this sort of large basin. Are you looking for anything in particular as you go through it? Because it looks just sort of, almost smooth, I think might even be the way to describe it. Yeah.
But it is sand, right?
But like sandstony almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As if somebody dug away all the sand and then just chiseled away at the sandstone underneath.
Exactly. In fact, I think you can even see it a little bit on that picture.
Are there any dead sharks around on this beach?
No.
Because I don't see any in the picture.
No sharks at all here. Or dead ones, anyway.
Well, we would have we would have probably walked along the beach to get here, right?
And on the way down, you saw some corpses and fewer and fewer and fewer. And then when you get down here,
so it was gradual, not like a hard cutoff.
No.
Okay. Well, judging by the map, probably something that I would also be able to see from here is that there's a bit here, there's all of these stones in the water, rocks in the water. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's an outcropping here.
Yes.
Which probably has something to do with that.
All right, so let's open that.
Yeah, let people see on the on stream.
The number 8 is what you see. No, yeah, let me move that. Move the map
there's
over.
The legend there. I see. Is that called a legend in English?
It is, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me.
Because it is a very silly word, right?
Yeah. Right, because it has. That context has nothing to do with anything else, legend-wise,
Yeah, I know.
So
it's odd. I'm sure it makes sense to somebody who speaks Latin or whatever, but from our modern standpoint,
exactly,
it's a bit odd.
Okay, so that spot that you are looking at, there are these clearly rocky reefs and shoals that you can see surrounding the island of Freuden. You can see that there are a few sort of just kind of lapping up against the rocks and the waves. You can see little bits of there's a couple of bits of wood, you think, and one in particular mast, which is tilted up and from the ground going over one of the stones. It does not look like it belongs anymore. The ship that it belongs to, the hull that it belongs to, has long since been eaten away, no doubt, by the water and the waves. But the mast, when that's clearly what it is still there. Now, it could be, you might think to yourself, well, maybe it just ran into these rocks. But that's not really the way that this stuff works. First of all, the rocks are very visible. They weren't hidden below the surface of the water. But secondly, it looks more like something, if you had to guess, bashed whatever this was against the rocks, and this is what's left. So something
on the rocks outside on the sea or down here at the hole?
Correct, on where exactly where the reef and the rocks out there. So right here. Oops, sorry. Right here.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, there's that. You do see you think you might see a few little fins down here as well. Of a couple times you see a fin sort of pierce the surface and then drop below the surface again of the water. Smaller sharks. So definitely living sharks down here, not dead ones.
Huh, okay. Which would mean that either the giant doesn't go here. Well, I mean, he doesn't go here, obviously, but like, he either can't go here or he doesn't want to go down here.
Well, because it's been taken over by the Germans, so, you know, he doesn't
Ah.
wanna... Just kidding.
Right, okay. But yeah, we are currently at the hole, so I guess the hole is the interesting part right now.
Yeah, as you're looking at this thing, it definitely looks, as I mentioned, smooth. But let me have you make another investigation check. This is a harder one because it's a detail thing that you're looking for.
Looking for details in the smooth hole.
Details.
Yeah. That's an 11.
11. Where's my dice roller go?
Well, I know for a fact that you have some real dice there, so...
Yes. Oh, it's because I had the wrong... There it is.
Damn it.
I was like wondering, where's my dice roller? There's my dice roller. Okay.
Why does roll 20, always reset my hit die? Very
I don't know.
odd.
It really wants to be a certain...
Like,
certain
always
way.
set to D4 when...
Interesting. Okay, that's it.
When I log into the game.
So we're looking at an 11. So yeah, it's you're not sure, except that the inside of the what you do know is that the inside of this basin, I guess, it is smooth, but there are, when you look really closely, there are little tiny, like almost pock marks, like little divots almost, in the smooth surface. But you don't have the faintest idea what would have created these, though. They're all...
I do.
Well, I mean, you know, but
I have an idea.
They're then also very important. They are even. That is to say that they are all pretty much the same size pockmarks.
Do I have to roll for what's that called? Like tryptophobia?
To determine if you have a particular one.
No, like fear of hole patterns and stuff like that. Fear of holes.
Oh yeah, fear of holes.
It's like a whole thing. Aha! A
Yes,
whole thing?
yes, it
Hey!
is. Hey. Do not think that you can't. Okay.
So can I see anything at the bottom of the hole?
No, these are very.
No.
It's a very wide basin, so you can you can see everything of it. Like you could walk down into it and up the other side.
It's not like it's so deep that I can't see the bottom. No. Okay.
No, it's fairly shallow, but it's very wide and like it's large, very large.
Turn like to my followers. Go, has any one of you ever heard anything about something like this? Seen something like this? Very odd.
And they look in that direction as I move the beach off of them. There we go. They sort of look in that direction, and Guy sort of like grunts a little bit and says, "Stone and rock." And Mundir says, "It's possible, but it seems more likely that something has created this." And Rickmod chuckles behind him, but doesn't say anything.
What, when you say that the holes are like all evenly spaced, do you mean like mathematically precisely evenly spaced, or just like, you know, not all like...
I don't know about mathematically, but like they're evenly spaced. They are the same depth as well. So, and they're not very deep, but they are sort of in a kind of regular pattern. I guess that's a way that I would describe it.
Okay. How long till high tide?
You think, because even as you're sitting here, you can see the tide is kind of coming in a little bit. So you think that probably maybe an hour, it seems, or maybe 2, but it's like on the way in, like it's starting to rise, you think?
How far away roughly is until down here?
That would be about probably 15 minutes walk, you would guess,
Oh, okay.
where you are right now. It's about 15 minutes walk to get there.
Yeah, I guess in that case, yeah, let's go there and wait for the tide to roll in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, a second. Get that like that. Cover over the legend, so to speak, so it's not distracting. Okay. So, so you're able to move down to the reef, which in turn lets you see a little bit of the other side of the island, and the sort of southern stones that, as you go up the other side of the island, seem to there are some stones around them, but they sort of disappear. This becomes over here. This becomes more of like, at first it looks like a little cliffside, but you think it's actually, you'd have to go up close to see. But it seems to be kind of a light brown, and you wonder if this might actually be almost like a clay cliffside. So basically like, clay that is that is sort of extended up, and that would, with more and more water, could actually probably, would dissolve. You don't know. It doesn't look like bedrock, I guess is my point. It doesn't look like strong gray stone, but more like, again, kind of like light clay or maybe even sandstone down there. Or up there, I should say, right up here. But otherwise, where you are is pretty much as I've described it. I will say, too, that there are, as you look, there are definitely a number of sharks, actually, more and more fins that you can see. And it feels a little strange to you, Genevieve, but as you're watching, and as the light is beginning to fade, and as the tide is rolling in, it feels like there are more of them. And Yasib, at one point, says, "There's a lot more of these sharks than when we first got here, you know." And they're kind of staring in the water. Late afternoon, early evening, like summertime. So I guess it would be like 7:30 Eastern, 7:30 type of thing, because it's summer.
So high tide would be, well, if the tide is just rolling back in, that means it's gonna be high tide in like 5 hours.
Yeah, probably somewhere around like that's about right. Maybe about 10:30, 11, because it started to roll in already. So I'm basing this on my own knowledge of summer tides.
Which means that the next low tide would be then at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Okay. Right. Okay. What can we see here on the beach beside more living sharks?
A lot more sharks in the water, but not a lot else on the actual beach. The area that you see around there seems like most of the action seems to be happening out on the stone, so to speak. And this is where this area, basically between here and here, like around here-ish, is where Wig had marked your map. Like it basically said, this is where we think you should go. So wherever this is, that seems to be the place that Wig expected you to remain. But as you look around, you don't see anything sort of particularly unusual. Although, probably about an hour in, you would say, Ibn Mundir and Yasib and Guy are all like bringing in some like there's some loose like basically driftwood and stuff like that. So they're bringing up a little bit of that driftwood, although not very much. And Guy says, as he's sort of walking past you, grunts and says, "All kinds of sharks." And as you look, you can see that indeed the water seems to be almost roiling with them now, like lots of fins that you can see in the water.
Interesting.
And Rickmod says, "Where there are many, there will be one." And everyone,
I know what she means by that.
Everyone stares at her.
First thing that came into my head was a Megazord made of sharks.
Yes, it's a Sharktron. They assemble Voltron made of sharks.
Oh God, no. It's like, oh yeah, right. Probably should like stay out of sight in case a giant does show up here.
Okay.
So I guess we like retreat beyond the tree line.
Okay.
And keep an eye on.
And you're still looking at the water. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a particular area that you're looking towards? I know you're looking towards the water, but like directionally, are you looking down towards the basin, like where you were, for example? Are you looking more towards the reef?
Well, we are multiple people. We can keep an eye on various things.
Who do you want to be
I guess
looking?
like the points of interest would be where the hole was.
Okay. Is that
where the sharks were gathering and where Wick specifically marked
right
on the map?
Who do you want looking at what direction? Like, or who do you want to be looking at what?
Genofifa would probably come. No, Genofifa would like specifically pay attention to the marked spot.
Okay. Which is near the basin, by the way.
So she could keep eye on both of them.
Yes, theoretically.
Okay, yeah, then she does that, and yeah, then I guess put Guy on lookout for the sharks, and the rest can go about their business.
Okay. So as the light fades, and the moon rises, and it's actually a fairly bright moon that rises. Neil Young's Harvest Moon plays in the background. As the moon rises and sort of lights the ocean, there's the sharks have sharks have calmed down a little bit. They're still out there, but they've kind of gotten quite calm. And then Guy hisses back to you. They've gone. I don't see any of them. And you look and you see that like the water is just still. Like they didn't like get violently removed. They're just all of a sudden the water is just lapping quietly. No sharks.
Weird. Where did they go?
He says,
is what she asked you.
Yeah, and he says, I was watching. They were there, and then and then his eyes widen because he's looking at the ocean as you're looking at him. And
yeah, and look where he's looking.
He says, and from behind you, you hear Rikmad cackling, and Ibn Mundir saying, I suppose we know why they left. Coming up, rising out of the water, is an enormous fin. Now, when I say enormous, I don't mean, oh, this looks like it's on a big 6-foot shark, 8-foot shark, 15-foot shark. This fin is gargantuan in size. And as you see the fin, which is sort of gradually coming into the water, or coming in like from the water towards the shore, it rises up and up until you see this picture that I'm going to show you. Okay. Because, okay, that's, sorry, I put it in the wrong spot. Hold, please. Everyone dramatically be impressed with how dramatic everything is.
Oh, what is a Megazord shark?
Well, it's possible.
It's possible.
Okay. Now
so
I'll put this on.
That like used its swarming ability.
Here we go. Rising up out of the water, you see a massive mouth that rises up. This is indeed what looks like an enormous shark, probably the size of a whale, if you had to guess. And the shark comes up and its mouth opens wide, and even from here, lit by the glittering moonlight that's reflecting off the water, you can see not only kind of rows of teeth, but you can also see what you think are things floating within its mouth. Like, you think it's possible that you might actually see some bits of wood in there, but you're not 100% sure. And then it basically swims in and rolls into, quite literally on its side, the basin. And you see that the basin now perfectly fits the side of this thing. And it sort of lies there in the light of the moon. And its mouth open and closes and its eyes close. And you see now some little sharks begin to appear, like going around it. And you're as you're watching, Yasib at one point says, is that what Wig wanted us to see?
Maybe. I have a feeling that that float word is not the only thing that might be an issue around these parts. Munir, can look. Please tell me you've read about something like this.
And Mundir sort of stares and narrows his eyes and says, perhaps, though I have never seen anything exactly like this in person. But it is said there are some creatures that are so giant that wander the Whale Road and beyond, that they have no rival. Sometimes they would strike deals, it is said, with humans. But sometimes other tales say they would simply eat the humans. And Rickmod giggles. Suddenly you hear coming from it, there's almost like a groan, not a groan, a growl, a howl, some sound, and its huge eyes close and open.
Yeah, we keep watching what's going on here.
It kind of rolls back and forth along the basin. And as you are sort of like watching this thing, you can see that there are several sharks that come up to it. I would like you to make, let me see. I'm trying to think if you even make a perception check for me.
See anything? Isn't it like evening?
Well, the moon. No, but there's a full moon, remember I said, that's casting light down. But go ahead and make a perception check. This is not easy, though, from your vantage point. Shark lies seductively on its side. It's not that kind of shark. Oh, big fella. No.
Hey, that's an 8.
An 8. Wait, did you do investigation?
No,
you did perception. That's what I thought. Yes, that's right. That's what I wanted. Yeah, you don't know. You're at least not from here, Genevieve. There's something going on with the little sharks and the big one, but you can't see it from here.
Guy is already like really invested in this.
Yeah, well, Guy is basically not moved since he saw it. He's like,
yeah. Can I spend him to also get him to figure out more?
do you want to send him down to look at the shark?
No. That's not what I mean.
To ask him. Guy sort of does seems to know nothing, or at least is not responding. You don't know that it's fear. It might be, but it's definitely fascination of some kind, and so does not even really answer you. Also, I'm getting a call from my daughter. Bear with me just a second while you think about a shark. Talk about shelf chat.
Sharks. Yeah, probably. Like, definitely not gonna engage with this guy, but we. always very odd when I have to entertain you guys on my own. So I've been replayed Grim Fandango the past week because it was on on sale on the Switch for like $2. So I was like, yes, I guess. Haven't played this since before the remaster came out, so yeah, a good time. Still clunky as fuck. Even with the optional change control scheme, but which like introduces some other issues, because for those who have like played the game back in the day, the game was like notorious for its tank controls, basically meaning that the direction of the buttons was like dependent on where the player character is looking. And so with that in mind, they could like do funky shit with the camera's perspectives. So while you are navigating through the world and like go from map to map, like the camera would like drastically shift as compared to older 2D games where the camera would always be from the side, basically always in the same direction, basically. And it's now that there's an optional what do you call that, like directional control scheme, where it's like based on your view, but like then suddenly the camera shifts. So if you were running to the right and then suddenly the camera shifts to like the opposite direction, you will like enter the scene and like immediately exit it again, which is quite annoying in a few spots. But still, despite that, still a great game. So beautiful. Always so touching. The whole plot and everything, like the story, the vibes are meticulous with this game. Especially considering that it was like one of those really early 3D games where they were like still figuring shit out. It was like before cinematic stuff in video games was the standard. They like really made use of that. So yeah, very much recommend. The puzzles are still a bit bullshit from time to time, because like one thing that I assume this is not as much of an issue if you play as a PC with a mouse, because I think they did add mouse controls, regular point and click controls for the remaster, and so that might not be as much of an issue, but it can be really tricky to like interact with certain segments with like controls and like the classic controls with controller control. And controller control, that's not a good word. But yeah, very nostalgic. I did not play this game back when it first came out. I did play it way later. But still nostalgic for me. It's such a nice game. Yeah. Would like kinda love it if they like made a animated thing based on it, but oh hey, he's done with his call. Finally. Ooh. Dude, it's so hard to entertain people on my own.
I beg your pardon. Sorry. Had a 17-year-old crisis to deal with. Okay. So, right. Yes. So anyway, so Guy seems to have like is just fascinated, but doesn't have any special information about it that you can tell.
Right. Okay. Then I guess we all just stand by, keep watching this, and see if we can gather anything else.
So are you going to become visible to it? That is to say,
no. We are staying hidden.
Okay.
No, not engaging.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling that this happens probably at every high tide, or at most high tides at least.
Well, it certainly
every
seems to fit neatly into that basin. You think you have an idea what actually may have created it.
Yeah.
One thing that you can say is that, one thing I can say is that Nonstop subscribed. Yay! Thank you, Nonstop. Tier 2,
100
100 months. My goodness. 8 years and 4 months. That is a lot of years. Thank you, Nonstop. I appreciate it. I love seeing all of those Tari-provided emojis. Pretty much. Those are all that. So thank you, Nonstop. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. As you are sort of sitting there, you one of the things that Yasib is able, no, Mundir, sorry, is able to tell you is that there are smaller sharks that he has heard of that do things like this that are called basking sharks that literally will just sort of bask in, usually though, the sun. And will warm themselves sometimes by like lying on or near, like in water, but also near the beach. But he's never heard of a basking shark that is the size of a whale, or a basking shark that is the size of a whale that is like calling out to other, or whatever the hell it's doing. Like, that is different. But he definitely has seen, like, heard about small versions of this, but not this size. As you're waiting, I would like you to make another perception check for me, please.
Na gut. Perception. 12.
I think a 12 is enough. As you're watching, you hear a kind of splashing in the water above, to the north, basically. And as you look in that direction, assuming you do, you can see a gray figure is splashing along the water towards you. And at first you think there might be another shark, and then as you look, you see it's not actually moving like a shark. It sort of dives in and out of the water. It almost looks very sleek, its body. And then comes onto the beach. And again, it's the light from here. I mean, it is the full moon, but it's still nighttime. It feels like you watch it as it slides along the beach and then suddenly is standing upright and is just walking towards you. So it was clearly like swimming through the water, then came to the beach and now is walking towards you. Kind of a human-sized figure that's walking towards you along the beach, up this way towards you, towards your hiding spot.
Shark just turned into...
You don't know, it didn't look like a shark. It was something that looked more, it was a water creature of some kind, but you couldn't tell what.
Well, we are here in the woods, basically.
Yeah. So, and it does indeed pass you, and comes to the edge of the water here, comes to the edge of the beach, I should say, and walks right up to this massive basking shark. And looks up, and then it says, "As we rise," and the creature opens one ponderous eye, the basking shark. It says, and the creature on the beach nods. And as you watch it, you suddenly realize what you're looking at. You're looking at Wig. And Wig is talking to the basking shark, apparently.
Okay. We keep watching.
Wig sort of, says some, I mean, all of it, of course, is incomprehensible, but says something. The basking shark languidly moves one of its flippers, I guess, and Wig sort of like goes over and puts a hand onto the side, the one part of the massive side of the basking shark. And the shark just, doesn't move, doesn't do anything. And finally, Wig turns back and looks directly at where you're hiding and says, I really want to do the Star Wars Obi-Wan, hello there. Doesn't do that, but he looks back and sort of looks in your direction and says, "Here we may speak freely." Now, remember, Wig did not say anything up in the sort of place, and he sort of waves you on. He says, "I have a friend to see you." And he kind of gestures at all of you.
Yeah, I guess we are crawling out of the shrubbery and going down to the beach.
And Yasib is like, wait, are you sure you want to do this? This seems like a dangerous thing.
More dangerous than what we already gotten ourselves into? I'm not sure.
And he sort of shakes his head. It doesn't mean we need to continually expose ourselves to danger. And he kind of mutters to himself.
I'm sure it's fine. And she like goes with like shaking legs.
Yeah, when you pull yourself out of the shrubbery and sort of stand with your followers behind you, the shark sort of has been rolling on one side and then like moves over, and one massive fin like, falls into the water of the basin. And the eye, one of its eyes, you can only see one at a time, really, stares down at you. And as you come up next to Wig and you're looking at the eye of the creature, it looks widely and wildly at you, Genevieve. It is like when you look into its eye, it's like the entire sea is staring back. You can see sort of gray, almost it's like you're looking into gray waves as you look in its eye. And it stares down at you. It towers above you, of course.
Greetings?
And Wig says, he was waiting for you.
For me?
Well, I told him you would be coming.
Well, I'm here.
I'm
What's
glad.
going on?
I could not speak to you back at the settlement. There are things I would prefer the others did not know. And he looks up at the big shark.
Okay, so what did you want me to come here for?
I wanted you to meet him and to learn a little about what we are here dealing with. The creature that you call the shark dredger, and when he says the shark dredger, there's a low, like a low rumble in the basking shark's gullet. And Wig says, the creature that you call the shark dredger traps more than humans. It traps other creatures as well. Many of this one, he points at the basking shark, his people have been killed by the thing you call Floatward. And the shark kind of stares down at you. It's very hard, Genevieve, when the thing stares at you, not to feel this enormous pressure, like you're just, as it's staring down at you.
Well, I gathered as much that it killed many people, and I am trying to stop it, but
what do you want?
What is this? I've never seen anything like this.
Up and says, this is the basking shark. And says it like a title. The basking shark, like all caps,
TM.
And says, this shark has been here for hundreds of years. Those have often seen it think that it is a whale, but in fact, it has hunted whales over its long life. And it has a kingdom. All of the sea answers to this creature, and his people are the ones he must protect.
I see. So out of character, back when we were on the ship to get to the island, we did see like a whale or something at sea, right? Or am I like misremembering something?
You did. Well, you thought it was a whale.
Well, okay, that was my question. Is it likely that this was our whale that we saw?
Not sure, but it's certainly big enough to be one.
Well, I mean, also like I'm more like thinking like the color maybe, or if it has.
Yeah,
any
I'm not sure that
patterns.
you could pick that up though, like in the sea compared to now when it's being lit by the moon. But it's possible, yes. And as the sort of shark is there, Wig explains that this it wanders up and down the whale road, and in fact, you start to wonder, actually, Genevieve, when you hear it tell stories, when you hear like where it's been and everything, if maybe some of the stories you've heard about ships being sunk by whales is in fact ships being sunk by this. And Wig says, he is not hungry for human ships now, but when he was a younger shark, it might have happened. And the creature sort of looks down upon you. You feel the weight of centuries in its gaze. The shark sort of rolls again over and does again the and there's this sort of roiling water around him as many fins of sharks appear. And Wig says, I became friends with the basking shark some time ago, and he and I agree that something must be done about Flodward. The question is what you want to do. Do you wish to kill it, or talk to it, or drive it away? How would you solve the problem for the humans? For if you can solve the problem with the humans, perhaps you can solve the problem for us too.
Well, I'm not sure I could kill it if I tried, to be honest. It's quite big and made of stone. And I'm no stonemason, but
Everything has a crack in its surface, Wig says.
The thing is, I mean, I've just been here since today, but from everything I've heard so far and seen so far here, I think that Floatward is only doing what he's told to do. And
Wig nods, expression serious.
And I think that what really needs to happen is to figure a way out to tell him to stop. And which brings me to my question, and she turns like directly to the shark, and it goes, "Great basking shark, do you happen to know somebody by the name of Eoradin?" Eoradin?
Yes. Actually, let me get the. Eorknen is what you're thinking about.
Oh, that's a C, not an A.
Yeah. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, though. Eorcnan, but I think so.
Eorkden.
I wasn't sure if it would be like
anybody?
an Eorkshn, but I think it's Eork. So you ask him that, and the shark kind of like looks down and does not respond. And Wig says, before the basking shark would give you information, it must know something of you, for it has been misled by humans before. You would need to convince it that you are indeed a noble creature, as this one is. I should note mechanically, the basking shark is in capital letters, noble animal, which means that it is one of several mystical almost animals, like a leviathan or something like that, Genevieve. So, so Wig says, I can translate for you, but it also would need to hear from you. You would need to speak to it and convince it that you are going to do good things with the information it has. And the shark is like,
I think that oh god. names. Float word is acting on the grief of a mother who lost her daughter. And I think if we can still that grief, then the killings will stop.
Wig nods, and then says, 1 second, because one's wife is calling from below.
Should like set up a thing where there's like just a little bit where I can just doodle for you guys while we are on stream if like stuff like this happens. Oh well. Well, I guess I can actually do that, yeah. Where is the pen tool? Change color to something about contrasting. Draw a little fishy.
Okay. Hopefully now that's all of my
Oh, there
family
you
members. Now, hopefully that's all my family members that have questions for me. Okay. So right, where were we? Oh yes. So yeah. So it basically you said the thing about like it was doing the thing with mother and daughter grief and everything else. Okay. So Wig says, I love the little fish drawing.
Thank you.
So Wig says, how would you convince it to change its ways?
I don't know yet. I do aim to find out.
And Wig sort of looks up at the shark, and then Wig puts its hand on its side and does this very strange kind of like a high-pitched version of the roar, sound that the basking shark makes. And the basking shark sort of like rolls a little bit. When it rolls, you can literally like feel like you get splashed a bit by the water because of its like enormous bulk. And then it says, and Wig sort of looks at you and says, what if this one could bring you to the girl?
I would gladly come along.
Then you must convince it you mean well. You must speak to it. And the shark, like, at this point, by the way, Guy has backed up like about 20 feet, to the edge, just eyes wide and staring. Even Rickmod is silent. And Mundir drops his voice and says, how do you plan to speak to a shark?
With my words?
What?
You can hear me, great basking shark, right?
And the shark kind of like, moves its body, but seems to be responding to you.
Well, I suppose, and then she turns to Wig and is like, you want me to tell her the truth about me, you said earlier?
And Wig nods and says, but to do so, You must enter its home. And gestures to the water. Enter the water with it. And now Mundir and Yasib, no, Guy's, for the first time, Guy's eyes turn to you, like still wide, and Mundir and Yasib are like, and Mundir says, you cannot enter the water with that thing. It could roll over on top of you.
Amongst other things. But, and then she turns to her followers. Like, actually properly faces them.
Yeah.
Goes, well, we already are in quite a dangerous situation. And if we don't do anything to fix it, then we might be stuck on this island forever. And to be honest, I'm not sure I could take that. So I guess I'm willing to take that risk.
And
it's what Runesild would do.
And Mundir says quietly, Runesild died doing it, though.
And I think she would do it again if she could.
He sighs heavily. We will wait for you. And he kind of looks at everybody and, like, you know, Yasib like draws his sword and and they all sort of drop to one knee. And one of them says, Guy, like hisses, and Guy sort of like looks and then slowly pulls out, you know, the spear. And Wig has, you know, just been observing this quietly the whole time. And then Wig says, you may enter the water when you wish.
Well, I guess she starts taking her things off until she's standing there basically in her undershirt.
Okay.
And would then turn to the water and start walking.
When you step into the water around your feet bubbles and sort of roils a bit, and as you look down you see little what look like minnows, and then as you get further in to the water, bigger and bigger sharks, and suddenly you realize that you are literally walking through hundreds of sharks. And they, as you walk further in, they all basically, you don't know what they're doing, and then you see that essentially they've created a path. So you're just walking slowly, wading into the water on between rows of sharks. They're just staring at each other. And as you get to the side of this thing, and it's kind of like, you know, waiting there, you look up at it, and you're going to need to make a check, but I want to know how you're going to do this. Like, in other words, what are you going, like, how do you want to approach it? Also, thanks for the raid from Phased Out 1971. Thank you, Phased Out. How do you want to proceed? Like, what do you want to touch if you want to touch it? Like, how do you want to do this?
So, can you explain to me, like, what exactly the scene looks like right now?
Sure. So it's lying on its side, basically,
Yeah.
in this massive basin. So it towers above you, and you are sort of up to your waist, essentially, in water. In the water that's lapped over the basin is basically, you know, in it, in the basin. And there's water, there's ocean outside, and you are basically between two rows leading from the shore into the basin to the basking shark. And the two rows are composed of small sharks. So you're sort of in between the sharks.
I suppose, well, she can't. How deep is the water that she's standing in right now?
She's about waist deep right now.
I guess. Okay.
So I guess, I don't know, a few feet.
Um, I guess she would reach out to the shark,
Okay.
to the basking shark.
Okay.
And like basically, I don't know what like the most accessible point is right now. Basically doing the equivalent of like, putting your hand on like a horse's forehead or something, right?
Yes, and you're struck by how two things. One, how sort of rubbery, the skin feels.
He's smooth both
But
ways.
then also, smooth, but there are these little, how do I put them? Not spikes, but sort of these little bumps in his skin that you think may match the holes that we were talking about that were in the basin before. Lots of them all along his skin. So you do that, and then do you say something to him? What do you say once you have your hand on his side?
I guess she would like be quiet for now and
Okay.
just wait, and if he doesn't answer, then she would say something, but I don't know if he answers or not. So
Okay. You feel sort of this thrumming, like this vibration kind of coming through your hand. As you feel it, the vibration is almost painful. It's obviously not attempting to shock you, but it's so strong that it kind of vibrates your bones and your teeth chatter, almost as you're holding your hand on him. As he does his thing, you can feel that sort of rattling almost in you. And you have a moment where, Genevieve, as you're standing there, you feel all of a sudden as if the scene around you disappears, and you for a moment feel as if you are moving at a slow, ponderous pace underneath the water. And you are floating along, swimming along, actually, but with such great size that every sort of move of every sort of jerk of your tail as you go back and forth moves you great distances along the side of the water. For just a moment, you feel as if you are like in the basking shark. Like, I don't mean in it like swallowed, but I mean like part of it. And then you're back, and your head is kind of like pounding a little bit, kind of hurts. But it's definitely tried to connect to you. So I would like you to make an animal handling check for me, please.
Oy boy.
That's wisdom. Don't forget, chat, if you are here with inspirations, this is a
probably now would
one.
be a good time.
That's right. If there is an inspiration that anyone wants to throw the way of our good friend TariToons, you could do that. It's a possibility, as she is standing next to a massive shark, whale-sized shark.
Who could kill her, just like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because Triffid has probably got... That's true. I don't think either of the channel points ones have been used yet, so I suspect that's what Triffid is looking to do. Yes, Triffid has redeemed Arvanaut Inspirations. All right, Triffid. So you now are inspiring Genevieve, I assume that means.
Inspiring the shark to
inspire the shark
checks.
to roll over. Thank you, Triffid. All right, so you've been inspired.
Nice,
Genevieve.
thanks. Yeah, I'm using that for my animal handling check.
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, that is so stupid.
10 and 10.
Outstanding.
Let's see.
That is so stupid. What are the chances? Okay, somebody do the math on that.
That it's going to be the exact same one. It's true.
Yeah.
So let's see. As you are, so as you're kind of looking down at it, or sort of looking up at it, I guess, the shark sort of seems to be like makes several more of those like roar things, but you still don't get a sense of exactly what it's asking you to do. And finally, Wig comes out, and comes out standing next to you, and puts his hand on the shark's side and sort of speaks to it using the same roar, 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 about it. And then Wig says, "The shark is not certain of you or of your intentions. It will bring you and one of your followers if you wish, but the others must remain behind."
All right then. Thank you. Well, I suppose. So, I suppose I'll bring Guy with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't wait for this conversation. Because Guy
Well,
is
it's
like,
more about because it's more about having a bodyguard.
of
right?
course. No, I get it. I just was thinking about the image of you being like,
However, since we're
"Hey,
going into the water,
Guy."
he's also not gonna be wearing his armor, right? Because
True.
that would kill him.
Well, now that's really kind of the question about how you're going to do this, because it's unclear about exactly what it's going to do. And as you're sort of staring at the shark, it rolls over and it opens its mouth again. And this time you can see that water is sort of rushing out of its mouth to join the water in the basin. And then you see sort of floating inside, you can see are a couple of basically like wooden platforms. And Wig says, "The shark will take you and your follower below the surface on these platforms."
All right.
Guy is like,
Well, I mean, Guy, if you don't want to. And she looks at her other followers for like, any takers?
Guy sort of stares and says, I'll go. And like walks up next to you, staring up at the shark.
All right, thank you. And then she like waits like for him to get ready, take his armor off and
Yes.
everything.
So he's able to, so he is able to do that. And then the shark opens, like lets the water drain out of its mouth enough that you can actually get access to these platforms, which are big enough to hold, like one platform is big enough to hold a couple of you. So you and Guy would certainly fit on there. So if you wish, you could do that, clamber onto the wood platform if you want.
Yeah, basically packing our stuff up so that the others can take it, and just telling them, hey,
And
I guess camp here, or if you want, you can go back to town.
And Yasib says, "What if it takes you below the surface and you do not return?"
She like looks very panicked there for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not gonna happen. Everything will be fine. See you later. And she just like turns around on the spot and like very awkwardly starts wading towards the platform.
Okay. Okay. So you're able to get up onto the platform, and when you do, you get on the one and you see Wig standing outside the open mouth, and Wig says, "Be careful, hero. This is a long dive. And then you see the mouth close and the water fills up. And it fills up and you're on the platform. And then it goes up till it bumps against the ceiling of the mouth of the creature and then goes over your head. And for a moment you panic and you can see Guy panicking. But then Guy, in fact, actually does this almost sort of like reflexively gasps. And then when he does that kind of and then says, although his voice is watery, "You can breathe here."
Yeah, I guess then, Fefa would like immediately try to breathe too.
Yes. You're breathing, you can breathe water, apparently.
Dang.
Obviously magic.
Oh, you think. You think the giant speaking whale fish thing
Just a little bit.
is magic.
This, by the way, this is reminding me a lot of East of the Sun and West of the Moon. I don't know if you familiar with that tale, but where a princess goes to seek someone by finding all these creatures and finds like the salamander, which knows the heart of the world, and the fish, which knows the blood of the world, and all this stuff. So the great fish is what this is reminding me of. But so suddenly, as you were sort of looking at each other, you and Guy, you hold onto the platform because it is clearly moved. And you suddenly feel this, and the waves kind of like, even though you're inside the water now, but the platform kind of moves back and forth, and then you feel yourself pitch forward as the basking shark obviously is diving down into the water. You feel as you're going along there is frigid water down here, even through the mouth of the basking shark, but it's not frigid. It is not impossible to bear. There is, in fact, a vague sense of warmth at the same time that they're on the way down, and all the way down to the cavern to someplace is where it takes you, and then the creature, the basking shark, opens its mouth, and you can see from your vantage point on the platform that it is headed directly towards what looks like a tunnel, a very big tunnel, but a tunnel, which has jagged stalactites and stalagmites like off the sides of it. And as you go in, you can feel sort of several groans and grunts from the basking shark as some of these stalactites and stalagmites cut a bit into its skin. It's big enough to accommodate the basking shark, but just barely, like just enough. Once, as you're sort of moving this way, something must have carved this passage, because as you're going along, it suddenly occurs to you, how are you able to see this? There are no light sources. There's nothing underneath that's revealing anything, but somehow you were able to see. And you are keenly aware, Genevieve, of the fact that you feel as if you have left the world of man behind. This is unearthly in every respect. After a few minutes of this, the tunnel ends in a cavern just above sea level, and as the shark surfaces, still with its mouth open, you can see in the platforms that this is maybe 100 feet across, possibly, this cavern, and there is fresh air whistling through cracks in the ceiling above. But more noticeable than that to you is, as the shark sort of pivots, you can sort of moves across, you can hear the sound of not just the whistling, but something else. You hear someone say, "Hello, I see you've arrived. I see you. Follow the sound of my voice. Follow the sound of my voice." And sort of the basking shark waits.
Yeah, we are. So basically, the mouth is now open, or what's
The
going
mouth
on?
is open, yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Can
I guess we
barely
are.
see anything in the cavern. You could see underwater, but you can't see anything in the cavern, but you could hear the voice.
Yeah, I guess we are climbing off the raft
Okay.
and are gonna swim, wade, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, you'd have to like swim or like
Yeah.
row the platform or something like that.
No, we would just swim. I mean,
okay.
we're already dripping wet, so.
Okay. And she keeps calling, this way, this way. And you swim, as I say, maybe 60 feet or so to this one little patch of land. And as you sort of come to the water's edge and pull yourselves up, tired and dripping wet, you can see someone above you. So I have another picture, because that's what we need.
Cha!
Picture time. Okay. So there's this, that, crop, save as. Make sure I'm spelling that right. Okay. Coming up right now. You are looking at a young woman. She has sort of bedraggled hair. You can see that she looks quite thin, and possibly even like emaciated, basically, and salt stained. And you can see that her clothes are ragged. But something seems quite familiar about her, actually, as you look at her.
She looks a lot like the queen.
And she says, I'm so glad. Sorry, the slight echo. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you've come. I welcome. Welcome. I am Yorknan. I'm glad you came. How are you? I'll give you a chance to catch your breath.
Yeah, I assume we are coughing up a lot of water.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. Yes. No, you were coughing up maybe a little bit, but not as much as you would expect, actually. It's not like The Abyss, the movie, which has that going on in it.
Yeah, I guess after we catch our breath. Well, Jorgen, we've been looking for you. I'm Guido Fefer. This is Guy. Where are we?
Oh, you are in the cavern of Flodward. This is his home, and this is where he brought me. But I'm so happy to see another person, but I'm also... Well, why were you looking for me?
It's a bit of a long story if you want to hear it.
All right. Yes, I would like to hear it. You notice she has sort of a halting way about her, Genevieve, and that she seems quite quiet. Like you sometimes have to almost strain to hear her a little bit.
So, yeah, Genevieve begins regaling what happened so far and what her theory is about her mother being so grief-stricken that she now hates all sharks, and ends all of that with a and this is why we figured if we could figure out what happened to you and even maybe find you, we could bring you back and show your mother that she doesn't need to hate the sharks anymore, so that she could tell Floatweird to stop killing sharks and anything that tries to come onto or leave the island.
My mother did not want to have me around. My mother didn't understand me. If she sent me, she doesn't understand. Floatweird doesn't mean to hurt people. Floatweird is my friend. and treats me nicer than Mother did.
Is it true that your mother can tell Floatward what to do, or is he acting on his own accord? What is going on?
He responds to, well, and she looks at you and says, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't know that I can trust you. It's just the thing she would do, would be to send someone to find me and then have me...
Oh, she didn't.
She didn't?
She didn't.
You're just here on your own?
Well, she didn't. I did learn on the island that you went missing and that your mother gravely misses you, and that things have been going bad since you left. So I put two and two together and figured that you might also be the key to ending this.
Did you mention when you talked about, when you were giving her the recap, did you tell her what Floatward has been doing?
Yes.
Okay. Because, when she sort of hears about that, and also you're able to tell her a little bit about what the scope and the steward and all this sort of stuff. I'd like you to
we'll also mention that everybody thinks that she's dead.
Yes. I'd like you, and you can tell that she seems very sad about that. I'd like you to make for me, please, I'll take either an investigation or an insight check, but I'll give you advantage on this because of your previous research, if you will. How about that?
Well, the roll is the same.
Okay.
So, I guess insight.
Okay.
It's more of 12.
When you give this, she says, well, how can you convince that... And she pauses. Floatward means well. Floatward's just doing what my mother thinks is right, but also what I do. I'm, and sort of pauses and says, you see, my mother used to keep me from leaving the mead hall and just told me that it was too dangerous. So I suppose I talked to myself. And somehow Floatward heard me. I don't know why or how, but I used to talk to it like it was real. And when I left, I came to the side of the island, and I called to Floatward and I asked for Floatward to take me somewhere. And Floatward came and did, and brought me here. I've tried to tell it that I want to leave again, but he doesn't seem to understand. He brings me food and water, though. I told him I couldn't survive without it. And so he brings me barrels and chests, I don't know from where, of things for me to eat and drink. And what I'm saying is it's not just my mother. He also responds to me, I think.
Would you mind if we had a look around?
There's not much to see, but yes, you can if you wish.
Thank you. And I guess she would specifically try looking for things that look out of place here, like the stuff that Floatward has been bringing her in.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the idea is if she can tell from looking at these things where they're exactly coming from. I don't know, maybe they have a trademark. That sounds really anachronistic. It's not. Yes. Trademarks have been a thing for a long fucking time. But stuff like that. You know,
they each have a barcode.
It's been a thing for basically
yes.
whenever mercantilism was invented, that people would put marks on them.
Yep.
This is made by this and that guy.
So
or and there.
you don't see any particular marks that you recognize, but you're almost positive that what you're seeing here is indeed a set of that these are goods of some kind that were intended to be sold at some point. There are some crates and barrels of salt tack and stuff like that, processed food that wasn't just captured raw. And there's enough of it that could actually sustain people for quite some time down here. Although it is the same kind of stuff, like, beef jerky and salted fish and, stuff like that.
The kind of
that's
stuff you
down
would
here.
find on a ship that's making a voyage.
That's exactly right. And in fact, you do see a lot of inside the cavern, now that you look around, a lot of those like flinders of wood that I talked about inside the basking shark's mouth. There's a lot more of those here. And also some shark carcasses too. Yeah, like flinders, which are like small like shreds of wood, essentially, like little sticks and pieces.
Oh, splinters. Yeah.
Splinters too, yeah. Just splinters and flinders. So
it's like funny because in Dutch, vlinder means butterfly.
Oh, I see.
It was like butterflies made of wood. What's happening?
Or Ned Flinders, the
No, that's Flanders.
Yes,
that's
I know.
like
I know.
after the region. Vlaanderen. Anyway. Okay, so can like confidently deduce that none of the stuff is like coming directly from the island, but rather probably taken from the ships that.
Almost certainly, and it would explain why all those ships have been going missing.
Breaks. Yeah.
And when you,
I mean, this sounds like very grim, but like, are there like any dead people around? Perhaps like any.
You don't see
sailors?
any bone. No, you don't see any bones or anything like that. I mean, there may be some below the surface of the water, but you don't see any bones sitting around. No. And
how were we able? Okay, so like she says that in character. How were we able to get here? She says that like basically at no one and everybody at once, and like then turns like to the guys that is to Guy and to Eorknin. If we are, like, you said we are in Floatward. But also he can come here?
No, he's not in Floatward. No, that Floatward lives, well, she says in character. Floatward lives here. This is his home.
He lives here?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
The cavern below the sea. And
so
this is where he's brought me.
Can't you just come with us? And she like basically asks the basking shark, like basically as soon as, like basically say, can't you just come with us? And then he was like, stump off, go to the basking shop, and then great basking shark.
And the shark kind of.
Can you take us back with us? Can you take her back with us to the island?
The shark sort of looks down at you and kind of sort of blinks very slowly. Which at least doesn't seem to be a no. And Eorknin says, the thing is, I don't know that I want to go back. I'm a little scared to meet my mother again.
More scared than living forever alone in this cave? She says like really deadpan. Like,
yeah, she says.
Really? Honestly.
The issue, the Floatward needs to be convinced that the world beyond the island isn't as dangerous as he thinks, and the people under his protection can take care of themselves if they leave. But unless Mother tells him that it's all right, and that I'm all right, when he brought me down, though we had a fight, my mother and I, and my mother said that she would keep me safe no matter what it took. When I went to the water, Floatward came to get me. I wasn't frightened, we're friends. But Floatward, I think, keeps me here because he thinks it's the safest place for me to be. He won't stop until my mother stops him. And
So...
Yeah.
So you think that if you come with us, Floatward might get angry?
Yes. And she says, but I don't want to stay here forever either. And she pulls up and shows you an item. Let me show you what it is that she found in the cavern. I'm going to cut that. We're going to paint that, paste that, crop that, save that. And I'll show you right on screen coming up now. So this item looks like it has this wide flat blade, and it has a handle made from what you're pretty sure is some kind of bone, maybe like polished whale bone or something like that. Like we call it scrimshaw is another term for that, maybe. And it bears the line, a seawall strong as its oath.
Write that down. Sea wall strong as its oath.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would like you to make a legends check for me, please,
Oy.
Genevieve. Fortunately, Guy is not the person who could help you with that.
No.
What do you think? He's like, legendary. 4?
Oy vey.
No
Yeah.
freaking idea. But that's what the line reads anyway.
Well, I mean, given the context, she like looks at the dagger, and says, "So, let me guess that the seawall is floatward. Then what's the oath?"
And she says, according to what our legends tell us, this oath was sworn to my mother's mother, that it would always protect the island and do what it was told by the rulers of my people. And my mother is the next in that line. I will eventually be the one that does this. But this item here, and she holds it up, is not a dagger. It's a chisel.
A chisel?
I think it may be the only thing that can make Floatward vulnerable. But I don't want you to hurt him. If you do what this thing does and it cracks him, he could get hurt. It's not his fault. He doesn't understand. It's really my mother's fault more than his.
Well, it's good to have a backup plan, I suppose, so I really don't want to shed any more blood than needed. Especially considering all the lives that already been taken.
You have to convince my mother. If you can convince her that what she's doing is the wrong thing, then she can order it to do something different.
Can you give me a lock of your hair to show to your mother? To prove to her that we met you?
And she says, yes, but she won't believe it.
Well, tell me something that
says,
only you two know.
She says, I want you to tell me something, she says rather abruptly. And she says, is everything that's gone wrong really my fault? I mean, my mother tried to keep me safe, and I got into a fight with her. And then she took me here, and now you say that Floatward has been destroying ships that come to the island and trapping people here, and it feels like this is my fault.
This oath that Floatward has with your mother, or your mother's mother, is your mother really aware of that? Like, does she know that she controlled Floatward?
I don't think she knows all of it. She knows that it will follow some of its commands. She's, from what you described, she's probably the one telling it to kill all the sharks. But she doesn't know that Floatward would have taken me. It probably wouldn't even occur to her.
In that case, I don't think it would be anyone's fault. If she really doesn't know, then...
And she nods and she says, I wish that I could be louder with my mother. She just lectures me, and I feel like I can never say anything, and then she doesn't understand because she just talks, and she kind of falls silent. I can come.
She's at fault probably for driving you away, but everything beyond that, it's a bit. I don't think most families are in these kinds of situations where a rift that has been created between parent and child usually doesn't result in a stone giant killing sharks left and right and sinking ships.
She nods slowly and she says, I know, but Mother is stubborn. When I'm with her, it's so hard for me to say anything, and if I could just tell her, And she kind of looks at you and she says, I'll come with you. I'll talk to her, but if I lose my nerve, I don't. And you notice that, like, as she's talking, she's almost. Make an insight check for me, actually, rather than me being like, here's what she's doing.
12.
Yeah. It's almost like she's shrinking a bit. There's something childlike about her sort of movements when she's talking about what happens when her mother starts lecturing her. And this, her daughter is in her 20s. Like, this woman is in her 20s. This is not, a 12-year-old.
Yeah, no. I understand. Great, let's go, she says.
And she says, but will you protect me from her?
Yes, I thought that much was obvious.
And she sort of nods sort of a little bit and says, okay, I guess. And then you hear this, the basking shark says, and sort of turns around, and you can see there is water, or I guess not see, although your eyes have adjusted a little bit, but you can see dimly the waves in the cavern, or the water is beginning to be disturbed.
I think that's our cue.
And
she
yeah, okay.
takes her hand and books it.
Okay. So you get onto the platform, and now the basking shark turns and goes back down the tunnel, again closing its mouth, and then as it goes through the tunnel, except that when it gets to the end of the tunnel, its mouth reopens, and again you have that weird experience of being able to see even though it's technically dark, but you're underwater. Ahead of you, you see this enormous gray rock wall that's blocking the outside, and it was not there before, and it was not blocking the outside before. And Eorknen says, oh no, he's back already. He's back. And Guy says, then we're in trouble. And the basking shark sort of groans underwater, and then you can feel the platform doing this, as if the water is gathering up. And Eorknen gives you this sort of horrified look, and she says, what is he doing?
I don't know, just hold on.
I need a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yeah.
I need better whale race music. Shark race music.
Yes.
What do you have in the way of basking sharks? Hey,
baby.
there it is.
Natural 20. Let's go.
That's good, because that actually gives a benefit to Eorknen, who might have not, because she had to make her own check. You do manage to help.
Yeah, she would like basically.
What does that look like? Yeah, you tell me. What does it look like?
So like the raft, I'm kind of imagining it like looking a bit like a Euro pallet.
Fair. Yep.
So probably like lots of spots to grab onto, but it's also kind of rickety. So I guess like basically she would like kind of half hang over her, like
Okay.
one arm over her and like hold down like this,
Okay.
like both of them at the same time.
You are able to do that, and as you're pulling on, like, Guy is holding the other side, and Guy says, can't hold this long, as you're like racing through, because it pushes itself, and you can see the sort of rapidly like the gray wall is racing towards you, or rather you are racing towards it, and then with a massive crash, it slams into the side of this gray wall, and there is this you hear above you, and then the gray wall almost sort of like pushes back, and coming out is the basking shark, pulls itself out of the tunnel and swims up, and then comes up onto the water. This is for chat because I don't think Tari's seen this movie, but if anyone has ever seen The Hunt for Red October, the sub movie with Sean Connery playing a Russian captain, there's this one sequence where this sub surfaces out of the water at speed because it had to like avoid a torpedo. Long story. Anyway, it comes out of the water like this and then down, so it's like a whale breaching. So the shark comes out, lands, you again barely hold on as it's sort of shaking back and forth, and now you're up in the moonlit sort of light, and as you're up in the moonlit light staring out, you can see there's a moment's silence, and Flodward is staring at the basking shark and at you.
Oh, God.
And Eoklund gives this and then the shark basically turns and begins to swim, and behind you as Flodward is chasing after you. The basking shark essentially like races towards, let me get rid of some of these pictures, there's too many pictures here. Let me get rid of that. Let me move Eorknen over here. We're going to need Eorknen. Okay. Followers, we don't know where they are right now, but the shark is going to race up this way, sort of around the reef, and towards the beach where you originally came in. And as you are sort of like, as the shark is approaching the beach, it occurs to you that it is not slowing down. There are bells ringing, dung, 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 like emergency bells ringing on the beach, and you see people just en masse, like from the movie Jaws, running from the beach. Like the fishermen have all picked up their stuff and are running away from the beach. You don't know whether that's because the shark is coming towards them or because Flodward is behind the shark that's coming towards them. But basically, this is a big Godzilla Mothra moment, right? Or the equivalent, as as you're coming towards the water.
Yeah.
And you realize, Genevieve, that the shark is not slowing down. It's just racing towards the beach. What do you want to do?
How can we see any of this if we are inside the shark?
Because it had its mouth open. So it had its mouth open after it got out of the tunnel. It opened its mouth. And you wonder if it actually is able to, when it's above, it's either doing it for your benefit or maybe something about it allows it to move, like it is more steady. You're not 100% sure. But it has its mouth open. And so the moonlight is going down as you were like racing towards the beach, the shore. What do you want to do? Eorknen is like clinging to you. He is essentially clinging to you also. I mean, he's really clinging to the wood, but they're sort of just staring at the onrushing shore.
Well, I mean, we are on a rickety raft inside the mouth
Emphasis
of a
on
giant
rickety.
Shark.
Yeah. Pursued by this thing. Yes.
I don't think there's much we can do besides holding on.
Right. I didn't know if you wanted to try to jump off or if you're just going to hold on to the raft. Like.
No, we are holding on.
Okay.
I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can. I didn't want to assume. And so.
One of those moments where all you can do is pray.
Yeah. Apparently. So it stops just dead of the shore, and the waves flow out of its mouth along with the raft. And you and Guy and Eorknen sort of smash onto the shore, somewhat painfully, it must be said, but, not serious harm. And the shark then turns and sort of like looks, sort of gives you this look as you're kind of lying, gasping, kind of gives you this look with its eye, and then turns and faces Flodweird. And Flodweird is like coming in and like not even really paying attention to the shark, but is headed directly for the three of you. And Eorknin kind of like sort of is like terrified, staring at you and all that. Where do you want to do?
Well, so are we on the beach now?
You are now on the beach. Yes. And it's
we
the beach up
run?
here where you first came in. Okay, that's what I was figuring. Where are you running?
Wait, we are up back at the village. Okay, wait. To the tower where we first came to.
Okay.
Because if Lamwin is still there.
Lamwin is not
Maybe
there though. The door is
but
closed.
There might be some bread there. Oh, god dang it. That's not handy. That's not useful.
Yeah. The people, like, as you can see, the people seem to be racing up into the distance toward the mead hall, for whatever that's worth. Like, the villagers are streaming up in that direction.
Yeah, then I guess we're also going to the mead hall, which is kind of contradictory, but, like, then maybe both Beswa and Eorknin can, like, simultaneously tell Floatward to stand down.
Yeah, it's not great. This whole situation is not great, but okay. So you're running up the hill then towards the others. Okay. So as you do this, you hear this sound of this groan and this sound of, and as you look back over your shoulder, you can see that Flodweird is punching with its great fists the basking shark, and the basking shark is like swinging its great tail against Flodweird, and Flodweird is like, and basically is like the basking shark, if you're reading this correctly, seems to be trying to stop Flodweird from getting to the land. And at one point, and this is just like, monstrosity versus monstrosity. At one point, Flodweird picks up the basking shark and holds it over its head and turns and tosses it, like throws it probably a good 50 feet into the water behind it. Now, again, it's lifting a whale. I just want to be clear about this, okay?
Yeah.
And the shark smashes into the water with a massive, wave that hits as it hits the water. And then Flodweird turns, does not go after the basking shark, but comes onto the land and is walking towards the three of you as you are, making your way up. So, yes. At this point, you're almost up to the hall.
Eorknin, keep going. Guy, you run this way, I run that way. Go, 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 go.
And Guy sort of looks and then, like, runs off to the right. Where are you running off to? To the left or with
running left.
Eorknin?
Yeah,
okay.
no. Then I'm going running left, and Eorknin
is going towards.
Hopefully, goes to the hall
Yeah.
and makes to tell some other to stop this. And basically, I guess before Genofia would run off, she would like try to get the attention of Floatward, so that he follows her instead of like trying to kill everybody in town.
What's that look like?
Hey, you big stupid rock! Follow me! I bet you can't run as fast as me.
Rock and roll, is that right?
I have to say that she's like standing like completely drenching wet, just in her undershirt.
Yes.
No, nothing. So.
And she's just standing now. And did she stop and then is looking up as it does this?
Yes.
Flodweird literally sort of stomps towards, like you're a little bit off to the side, and its massive foot comes down maybe 10 feet from you and completely ignores you. It's heading directly for the mead hall.
Oh God. She picks up a rock or anything, tosses anything that she can
Dink!
find. Dink. Oh boy. She keeps at it. Doesn't know what else to do.
Just keep throwing. So, I mean, are you following behind it and like throwing rocks at it as you go?
Yeah,
basically.
basically.
Okay.
It like keeps throwing insults at it, like just trying to get its attention.
Okay. Yeah. So you continue to do that, and as you do, you sort of are by definition also running up towards the hall, and because it's moving in that direction. And so when the guards see you, the hearth guards, the terrified, it must be said, hall guards are standing at the door, and they're sort of eyes wide. The door is open behind them, and you can see Eorkinen just standing just at the side, like just outside, talking to the guards, sort of, like just screaming at the guards, really. And then Eorkinen sees you and waves at you, and the guards sort of like move aside as the creature is.
Yeah, I guess Kinofia would like run ahead because clearly the giant is like just ignoring her and is just shouting, "Get everybody out of town except for the queen!" And Eorkinen, and like give me the horn. Like they probably have a horn, right?
They do, but not out.
Horn.
Are you running into the hall to do that? Because they don't have a hall. They don't have a horn outside. All they have is bells
no, I
that
thought
are ringing.
like one of them had like a horn on them. You know?
Nope,
okay.
Not at the moment. That might have been a good idea for them actually. But no.
Everybody get away as far as possible.
So the guards sort of, there's a couple of people who have already sort of streamed away, but as you get close, you can see that basically the entire town seems to have been gathered inside the hall. Like, if they run out, they're going to be running out right into the path of this thing. You still don't know what it's doing. It's just walking towards the hall, but it's doing so
get the
rapidly.
queen outside, I guess.
Okay.
I guess she would like scream, like stand in front of the hall and go, "Queen Besua, come out! Your daughter is here. We need you now."
So you do that, and the queen. So you do that, and there's this like shout from inside, and they like you hear the villagers like passing it on. Oh, the queen! Blah 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 blah. The queen sort of comes to the door. And you can see her sort of striding up, and her eyes widen as she sees Floatweird like storming towards the hall. And then her gaze drops, and she sees Eorkinen, and her eyes sort of glisten for a minute, and you're not sure what she's doing. She almost like takes a step towards her, and then the queen raises her head from her daughter. And her hands curl into fists. And she says, "Maybe next time you'll listen to me." And Floatweird towers overhead. Which is a perfect place for us to stop our session.
Oh, God fucking damn it.
You've heard of a cliffhanger, but is there a Floatweird hanger thing that's actually there?
Oh, boy.
Well.
Yeah, well, indeed.
Well. I do think this actually sets us up, though, Tari, that I think we will be able to conclude next time one way or the other, depending on how things break down. Because I wasn't sure. There were other ways you could have gotten down into that cavern, and I wasn't sure how you were going to do it. But once you made this sort of deal with Wig, that you were going to meet them, then you had made that connection, and then Wig was able to sort of, connect with everything else. So no big deal. Not much happened. You just took an enormous basking shark down into a cavern and met the daughter and then charged away. This is all very kaiju, very, very, very massive monster battles and so on. So we're going to see, you're going to have to convince Eorkinen and or Floatweird and or Queen Beswa. So no problem. You said you're like, no combat, just a lot of persuasion ahead of you. Should be fine.
What could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. That shark was looking menacingly. No, they all were looking menacingly. It's true. Triff had made a good point, by the way, that at least he didn't throw the shark towards the beach. That would have been a problem. Yes. But no, he seemed preoccupied with getting to the three of you for whatever reason.
Gee, I wonder why.
I wonder why. Good stuff today, Tari. I enjoyed seeing, I like working along with you in my mind, figuring out what it is that you think you're doing, to kind of deal with this subject, whatever it is. And yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that happened that has to be addressed one way or the other. How did you feel about today, and where will the fine folks see you next?
This was great. Like, goddamn.
And Genevieve is so good at persuading people.
Like,
what do you mean, Trifid?
Escalated really quickly. I feel like I'm kind of like speed running the Soul module, probably.
You went faster than I thought you might.
Yeah. Which is unexpected.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, but no, this is like very exhilarating right now. Very, very, very much looking forward to where this is going. And hope that Genofifa survives.
So do I. That would kind of suck if
Yeah.
that was, yeah. I didn't know if you had ever encountered, but like there are these basking sharks do actually lie like in a thin, like on water on sand and literally like sort of bask in the sun, except they do it in the sun.
That's where they get the name from.
Hence the name basking sun, but
I
not
have
of
never
course.
seen a wild shark in my life, so.
Oh really? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like before we started this and I like looked it up online, like I thought that we just didn't have any sharks in the North Sea, but no, apparently there are sharks. Never seen them. Like the biggest thing you ever see is like seals, basically. So, yeah. Besides, it's just more fishies for the most part. Well, there are whales, but like you don't really see them much for reasons. Overhunting mostly.
Yeah, especially in the North Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, really, really cool stuff. And I'm sure mom and daughter are gonna be fine.
Oh, sure. There won't be any problem there at all.
No, this is gonna go just fine.
I guess it'll be interesting to see how mother-daughter relations can be maybe very focused when confronted with a massive stone creature. A lot of it for you may just be sort of figuring out how to explain to them to calm down so they can hear each other for 3 seconds. That might be a possibility. So,
yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of like we're playing a Beowulf version of Cloverfield, if you ever saw that. It's a monster movie where basically it's really not actually about the monster. This monster invades a city and you mostly just see it from its legs down because it's so huge. But it's really more about everything that's in front of the monster. It's the people that are dealing with the situation, not the monster, that really matters that much. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see.
It's like giant monster as natural catastrophe type of thing.
Precisely.
Yeah, I understand.
So where will the lovely folks find you next, Tari?
Well, people can always follow me on Tumblr and Blue Sky and on Kara at TariToons, where currently we are in the middle of Herald December, the 5th iteration this year, and we have a massive turnout already, over I think by now 200 entries.
Wow.
Yeah, like a lot of people are participating.
Wow.
Which is great. And like some really, really good stuff this year. I'm like really, really, really happy about it because like especially like the whole thing like I thought up as like a way to get people to like get out of their little comfort zones of like of like like actually practicing designing and illustrating coats of arms, because like a lot of people in the community don't even dare. And like so many people have like actually picked up a pen and like making their very, beginner kind of stuff. It's like not professional stuff, but it's so nice to see people trying. And like there's some really, really creative stuff out there,
That's cool.
Just it's really, really, really heartwarming, honestly. Like especially with the current climate surrounding beginner arts and stuff like that with like Gen AI and everything. It's like no, like anybody can do art,
Yeah, it's actually you're right.
The joy of creating things.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a corrective. It's funny. That's the whole the jokes about Bob Ross aside. The reason that Bob Ross was so popular with people is that's basically what he said. Like the only rule is that you're trying to enjoy yourself while you're doing this. So a whole generation of people kind of grew up sort of being like, it's okay to not be perfect at this, but I want to at least start trying, to do something like this. And so that was, and that's obviously pre-internet that he was doing that. But it was the same idea, the same feel.
And it's like, not that I'm saying that everybody has like the capability or will or whatever to be like, a professional level artist.
Right, of course.
Not saying that. This is like more about like, first of all, enjoying yourself, and also just getting a better understanding of things, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because like I feel like with a lot of art stuff, like people just don't understand how you get from a blank piece of paper to a drawing. Like it's kind of just like, oh yeah, you snap your finger and it's done kind of deal. The the process is very abstract to people, which makes sense. It's just like, it's sweet. It's really sweet to see how many people are really interested in this, and like also like on platforms that I like did not think about, like on Reddit, this thing is like completely blown up.
Nice.
There's like so many new entries every day, and it's just really fun. But that's currently what I'm busy with. So come check out my social media stuff.
Very cool. And we will see you back here, I think, next Tuesday for Fighting Fantasy. For Into the Dark. I think art, right? And then Beowulf finishes, if all goes well.
Possibly.
Finishes after that. I think, although I guess it's dependent on.
Yeah, I don't have the schedule in my head, but I'm here every other Tuesday-ish.
Yeah, so this is right. The 16th is Game Book Illustrations, and then the 23rd would be possibly the conclusion of Beowulf, depending on how things go. So yes. Cool. That's cool. So you folks should check that out, and we will have, because Tari is going to confirm with someone after our we finish up here. But Tari is going to confirm with someone, at which point I think we would be at liberty to announce either next week or the week after. We might be able to announce the new campaign and the details about it. Don't reveal anything. Well, maybe. I accidentally did a soft reveal, as Tari knows before.
Soft reveal.
Or a better way of looking at it is a whoops, I didn't mean to say that reveal.
Yeah.
But
that cat is out of the bag.
That cat's out of the bag. But we will, or that dragon, if you will. But we will be talking more about that and
big
about
cat.
the details of it and the players. Exactly. Yeah, big cat. When we start new ones. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, amen, imaginary. So that's going to be very exciting. But we have some Beowulf to finish up first, so we will do that in a couple of weeks. But next week, Tari will be back with Game Book Illustrations as we continue Into the Dark, which is we've now learned more about our character and ourselves, and we're in a strange maze with mechano spiders and a whole bunch of other things. So we will deal with that next week. But chat, can we get some love for the awesome TariToons? And Tari, thank you for doing
Thanks
this.
for having me.
And we will be back to our normal time, by the way, next week at noon Eastern for that. So thank you, Tari. And everyone check out Tari's heraldry and her art and all that stuff. And thank you.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. So that is going to do it for here. But it is not going to do it overall for me, because I am going to be over on GOG's channel in about a little under 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, where I am going to be playing Ghosts of Saltmarsh with By the Dice Roll. This was exploring an underground cavern. I don't think we're going to have a basking shark in this next one. I can't promise a basking shark, but I can, an enormous kaiju basking shark. But I can promise a stealthy invasion of a fortress, which I'm sure they'll be great at. So that's going to be happening in just a little bit at the top of the hour. And then we will be off. And then Wednesday, I shouldn't say we'll be off. On Wednesday, we will have Community D&D here as Dungeon of the Mad Mage continues. And then Thursday, I will be on with my good friend Zach Clay playing some more Gloomhaven. So that's what we got on the docket today. So join me at 2 p.m. Eastern tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, where we will get a chance to play with all of you lovely folks some By the Dice Roll Ghosts of Saltmarsh. That'll be a good time. Otherwise, though, and don't forget, later on in the month, we've got my holiday show, we've got the end of the year show, we've got Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, we've got Eberron going on, we've got a whole bunch of stuff happening. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty sweet. Eberron is closing in on its end as well, so everything is setting up for what I think is going to be a good new year. I'm excited for it. If you liked what you saw and heard today, I hope you will follow the channel. I hope you will check out my YouTube with !ArvTube. Please subscribe to me over there. It is free for you to do that, but really helps us out. We are at a record high of subscribers, 1,118, I believe, at last count. So please join us for that. Discord is !Arvcord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Blue Sky, !Arvsky. Website for this, arvinelleron.com. Financially, !Arvshop. That's our merchandise area. !Arvtreon is sitting right over there, trying to get that into triple digits. We're going to continue to push that as we can. Cool stuff for you and for the channel. Getting subs to join the channel is always appreciated. Please sub to the channel. You get those custom sub badges and emails to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. On the publishing front, Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts, Library, is my now sold out in print Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. The only place you can find it is at your friendly local game store and bookstores, things like that, but it's otherwise sold out from the publisher, which is great because that means hopefully a second printing is going to be in the offing in the new year. That's Library, and then Greyshade. That is my Greyshade IP, Greyshade Renegade Heretic, the Grey Assassin trilogy from Athos Arts. Also the audiobooks of Greyshade, both Greyshade and just released yesterday, the Renegade audiobook, both of them narrated by Trent Sparks. Trent did an amazing job, but you can get both audiobooks right now. The last audiobook, Heretic, will be coming out early in the new year, so I'm very excited for that. And of course, you will also be able to pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade from our very own Brandon O'Brien as the lead designer, and published by Alligator Alley Entertainment. We just put on our Kickstarter update the new, thank you, Triffid, I saw that, that's awesome, is the new character sheet for Greyshade. So if you want to check that out and you support the Kickstarter, you support Backer Kit, you can go over there, pre-order it, and at the same time you can see what the character sheets look like. That is coming soon as well, so very excited for that too. Otherwise, as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention, important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message we'll do so for others in that situation in the future. Thank you to my wonderful mods today. Thank you to Triffid for being amazing. Thank you to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers. Thank you to Triffid and Nonstop and Imaginary Exponent. And thank you so much as well to my wonderful viewers. Effect Life is here. Jagtris, Racist. We had Trending before. A few other folks who stopped by as well. So thank you everybody for that. And special thanks today to, of course, my good friend TariToons for her wonderful work as we are closing in. I think the last session, the next session in 2 weeks, may be the final session of Beowulf, which will be coming to a close as we finish up with the Ear of Stone one way or the other. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. In any case, I'm going to rise up on up now and head out so I can get ready for By the Dice Roll at the top of the hour. Please join us over on GogCom's Twitch channel at 2 p.m. Eastern for episode 499 of Pen and Pixels. Oh, no problem. No problem. Just lurking for a while. Office day tomorrow. No, that's cool. I get it. But always pleasure to have you here, Effect Life, as you know. But yeah, we're going to be over on GOG with episode 499 of Pen and Pixels. That close to episode 500. We are super close. So we're almost there, and we're going to be doing some D&D today, and then episode 500 will be next week. So we'll see how that all goes. So I'll see you in a little bit. And otherwise, thank you all so much for being here. Much love. As I always say, everyone, please be good to each other. I'll see you over on GOG in a bit, and more, in fact, perhaps the conclusion of Beowulf when that happens. Otherwise, that's going to do it for me. Thanks, everyone. Much love, and I'll see you in just a little bit. Bye for now. Then on the strand, with steeds and treasure, and armor their roomy and ring-dight ship was heavily laden. High its mast rose over Hrothgar's hoarded gems. A sword to the boat guard Beowulf gave, mounted with gold.
on the mead bench, since he was better esteemed, that blade possessing heirloom old. Their ocean keel boarding, they drove through the deep, and Daneland left. A sea-cloth was set, a sail with ropes firm to the mast, the flood timbers moaned. Nor did wind over billows that wave swimmer blow across from her course. The craft sped on, foam-necked it floated forth o'er the waves, keel firm bound over briny currents, till they got them sight of the Geatish cliffs, home-known headlands. High the boat, stirred by winds, on the strand updrove. Helpful at haven the harbor guard stood, who long already for loved companions by the water had waited and watched afar.